Delivering pizzas seemed routine until a simple order led me down a dark road. What awaited at the end of the journey was beyond anything I could have imagined. I used to work night shifts on Sundays to earn some extra money, with my friend Dash showing me how to use both applications simultaneously to maximize earnings in 1 hour. One major issue with delivery services is the downtime. You're often just waiting for orders. But by using both applications, you can minimize downtime and earn money continuously. So, I decided to try it out for a few hours, running back and forth between houses and restaurants. One night, I received a small order from a nearby restaurant, but the delivery address was quite far away. These types of orders were usually not ideal since they involved a long drive for minimal pay. However, this order came with a large tip, making it worth the extra effort. I accepted the order, set off, and began the 25-minute journey to the address. Midway through the trip on a secondary road, I received a call from the application. It was supposed to be the customer. I answered, and he asked if I was his Uber Eats driver. After confirming, he apologized for the confusion, explaining that he was using a friend's account and forgot to update the delivery address. He provided new directions, guiding me to his house near the courthouse. Following his directions, I arrived at a poorly lit street with only a few houses. As I stopped to check my phone, I was startled by a knock on my driver's side window. Rolling down the window, I was met with a cold and vacant expression from the person outside. Sensing danger, I quickly locked the door, feeling a sense of unease. In a split second, the person outside brandished a weapon, pointing it directly at me and shouting incomprehensibly. More voices joined in the commotion, and I could hear footsteps approaching the car. They attempted to open the doors, yelling at each other, but I couldn't make out their words amidst the chaos. I was frozen in shock, unable to comprehend the situation. As the person with the weapon momentarily shifted their focus, I instinctively hit the gas pedal, speeding away from the scene. With a sharp turn at the intersection, I managed to evade them. When I looked back, they had disappeared, leaving me shaken but safe. I drove away from the neighborhood and immediately contacted the authorities to report the incident. Although shaken by the encounter, I was thankful for my quick reaction, which potentially saved my life. Reflecting on the experience, I realized the importance of caution when dealing with strangers. Confidence and self-assurance are meaningless when faced with danger. The risk I took that night was foolish, and it served as a stark reminder to never underestimate the dangers of such situations. I once experienced a situation straight out of the movies. Allow me to provide some background. I'm an 18-year-old male student. To earn some extra cash, I work part-time delivering pizzas during the evenings and weekends. I use a moped for my deliveries, with a top speed of about 50 kilometers per hour, 31 miles per hour. Now, onto the story. It was a balmy summer night. The sun was setting, and visibility was poor in certain directions due to the fading light. I was familiar with the street I was on at that moment, aware that road narrows were approaching. However, what I didn't anticipate was a car hurtling towards me from the opposite direction, its headlights off, traveling at high speed. Due to the sun's glare obstructing my vision, I failed to notice the oncoming vehicle until the last moment. We narrowly avoided a head-on collision at top speed, and had we collided, the consequences for me, being on a moped, would have been severe. With a split-second reaction, I managed to swerve out of harm's way. I didn't hesitate to express my frustration by raising my middle finger at the negligent driver for not activating their headlights in such weather conditions. The car, I vividly recall. a bright blue Fiat Punto with black rims. A few days later, I encountered the same car once again. It was waiting at a yield sign for me and other vehicles to pass as I made my way back to the pizzeria. I decided to have a little fun. I approached the front of their car at an excruciatingly slow pace. As I passed the driver's window, which was partially rolled down, I caught a glimpse inside. To my surprise, there sat the most intimidating-looking gym-goer sporting the douchiest sunglasses imaginable. And beside him, unsurprisingly, was a stunning blonde girl. Without delay, the driver unleashed a barrage of profanity and insults at me. In a moment of rashness, I challenged him to confront me. However, as soon as the words left my mouth, I regretted them, realizing that this was not a confrontation I wanted to engage in. Despite my height, this guy was on a whole other level. I quickly distanced myself from the car, but within moments, to my disbelief, the blue Fiat reappeared in my rearview mirror. The guy was now in hot pursuit. I pushed my moped to its limits, reaching its maximum speed of 50 kilometers per hour, but he, being in a car, could easily outpace me. A roundabout approached, and I knew I could navigate it swiftly at full throttle, whereas the car couldn't. This brief delay slowed him down momentarily, but it wasn't enough. With the road straight and clear, he quickly closed the distance, tailgating me aggressively. Fear gripped me as I realized this wasn't just a game to him. He pulled up alongside me, the passenger window rolled down, shouting at me to stop so we could talk. But I had no intention of complying. He edged closer, the girl's eyes fixed on me, our vehicles nearly touching. Then a stroke of luck. A narrow alley appeared on my left. I made a sharp turn into it, but the blue Fiat couldn't follow. I raced back to the pizzeria as fast as I could. Even now, I occasionally catch sight of that bright blue Fiat. Whenever I do, I quickly hide or change direction to avoid it at all costs. Having delivered food from 1995 to 2007, I thought I'd start sharing some finally. I started out doing pizza, then moved on to a restaurant delivery service. This story was the first remarkable thing to happen to me, and darn near put me off driving altogether. It was also my first encounter with the infamous Patrick, who was an alcoholic. So I'm tasked to take this run to the rear end of the county where it's still really rural. Remember, this was the late 90s, so I didn't have a phone. I also got to use the cliche too. It was a dark and stormy night. I'm sent to this lone house down a super long driveway, and it is pitch black. No porch light. I'm using the flickering lightning to navigate my way to the front door. I knock, and nobody answers. So I wait a minute and knock harder. Still no answer. I really don't want to drive to the payphone that is miles away. So I step back on the porch and try to look in the window. A TV on static is illuminating the edge of a couch and a foot sticking out belonging to a person that's lying on the floor. I step back to the door and pound on it hard. The foot doesn't move. I pound the heck out of the door and still get no response from the foot. Now I think this guy is dead, and I don't know what the heck to do. All I know is that I'm creeped out. I guess I'll go to the payphone and call my boss. I peer in the window one more time before heading to the car, and the foot is gone. Oh, cool. He's alive and coming to the door. Except nobody comes to the door. For a good long while, I stood there, even knocked again. Finally, I turn around and start heading off the porch towards my car, when suddenly this simultaneous flash of lightning and ear-splitting crack of thunder splits the air, illuminating this massive, towering, bearded man standing right next to me. He just appeared there, looming over me. I scream bloody murder and throw the pizza at him. Then I fold inward on myself and curl up into a ball. I have no idea why I didn't run away. Teenaged me didn't make great decisions on the fly. Oh my goodness, honey, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I didn't mean it. Here, let me help you. Oh my goodness. He reaches down and gets my arm, trying to pull me to my feet. I'm shaking so hard from the adrenaline that my teeth are chattering. With his help, I manage to stand up. From the look on his face, he clearly feels awful. He apologizes about 1,000,000 more times and tells me not to worry about the thrown pizza, which was surprisingly intact. Tipped me $20 and thoughtfully turned the porch light on for me to get back to my car. I had to sit there for a minute until I quit shaking enough to be able to get the key in the darn ignition. He scared me pretty badly. I get back to the store and tell my boss what happened. His response was, "Oh, that's Patrick for ya. I should have warned you about him. He's a weird drunk, that guy, but he's harmless. Pound on the door with your mag light next time and he'll hear you. Thanks, Mike." Thank you for watching. If you found these stories gripping, don't forget to subscribe for more spine-tingling content. For another hair-raising tale, check out our suggested video. And if you're hungry for more eerie encounters, dive into our playlist featuring similar chilling narratives.